shipping time. Actually, Australia, interesting enough, is the fastest from order to shipment destination in the country in the world.
Is that
Speed
right?
of delivery, yeah.
I did not know that.
20 billion a year, of which 15 billion churns to a bad shopping experience. So 15 billion churns. So that means you've had a bad shopping experience, you no longer return to that brand and you go shop from someone. We need to get this into customers' hands as quick as possible.
Yep.
We're not going to build the Gaudi Cathedral. We're like ship in increments all the time consistently. And I think that was a really pivotal moment for us where we said, we're not going to ship a perfect product, we're going to ship an imperfect product and get user feedback as quick as possible. You rang me one day like, and you just went, I can't do this. I can't.
We all have those days.
And not like, he goes, I don't know how to do this. Like, look,
right.
it was like, I don't know if we can build this. And I just calmly said to him, Tahir, you've always delivered on time, in full. I called you FedEx for that reason. And you know what?
You call him FedEx?
Yeah. And you know what? You're going to find it. We're now automating real work and turning and empowering people to do fewer manual repetitive tasks by augmenting them with our solution.
Jevon, Tahir, fantastic to have you on the show. I have been reading a lot of the briefing doc that I got that I know you helped our producer create and learning a lot about your system. I'm very excited to learn more about it. You obviously come from both quite different backgrounds, which is the sign of a true good partnership.
Yeah.
Keeyu, it's right there on the T-shirt.
Yeah.
2 words, right?
2 words.
For the sake of our audience, tell us what the 2 words mean and then explain why and what that business does. Why don't we go with you, Jevon, on this?
Yeah, sure thing. So, yeah, Keeyu is actually 2 Japanese words that are combined together. It's K-E and Y-U. We threw in an extra E just to be cool. But like Keeyu.
True tech business, spell it wrong.
Yeah, just like spell it wrong. But like we felt it would roll off the tongue a lot easier for people. But Keeyu means foresight in Japanese, those 2 words together. And essentially what we're building is a solution that predicts and prevents customers, e-commerce customers or online shoppers coming in and saying, where is my order? So it's like foresight. We're providing foresight to e-commerce retailers.
Which we all do, right? We literally all do. As soon as we order it, where is it? Where is it?
Yeah.
So before we get into that, 2 Japanese words. Where's the Japanese influence come from that you decided on that?
The creative guys that put the brand together back in South Africa. So, and they've spent a bit of time in Japan doing creative work there. And I don't know, I just woke up in the morning and they sent me this word and they're like, hey, this is this word. And we threw it around with each other. We're like, what do we think of this word? And we're like, yeah, that's a great word. And so we just landed on it. I have no idea how they found it.
Look, they say short and sweet, which it is. Easy to roll off the tongue, which it is, particularly with that extra E.
Yeah.
So look, hopefully you've nailed it. I mean, names are funny things. I've named lots of businesses. I hate it. It's the worst experience of my life is naming businesses, but I like it. All right, now let's get a little bit into each of your backgrounds. Tahir, why don't we start with you? Don't go into too much detail, but just quickly, you're obviously the technical brains of the business here. You're very branded up today, by the way. You got the hat, the T-shirt, the whole lot. Whereas Jevon over here, absolutely no effort at all on the branding. Have you noticed that? We talk about that after. Yeah. But let's go into your background. Tell me where you came from and you know how you two ended up meeting.
Yeah, so obviously from the tech side, started off as a software engineer, deep into the systems.
Yep.
For the last 10, 15 years, I've been working in the retail and e-com industry. Worked in the business of different scales, bigger businesses like MasterCard, medium size, smaller size. So understood the pains and problems across different scales of businesses. And then eventually, one day, Jevon hired me. We met at P Nation and we saw the problems that we are solving now at P Nation. And then,
so you worked together prior to this, right?
Yeah.
Okay, cool.
Yeah.
That makes sense.
Yeah. So that's really from where it started. But then from P Nation, we moved on to a couple of other businesses as well. We saw the same problem and said, okay, the problem is everywhere. So why don't we solve the problem?
So you've been a traveling team. You've been a traveling circus together for a little while through a few different businesses, so to speak.
Yeah.
Interesting. I didn't know that. That is interesting. So yeah, obviously you were doing head of, what was your role at PE Nation? That's that was a big brand.
Yes, I did some time at SurfStitch as the MD there, which was like, you know, a large e-com.
What happened to them? Did they die? They still going?
They no longer exist.
Yeah, they don't exist.
And it's a bit sad because when I was there, that was an $80 million business.
I remember it. It was a good brand.
Yeah, good brand, good volume. A bit of a machine. And that's kind of where I first saw the disparity between customer service and post-purchase ops. And we're solving for post-purchase ops. Customer service is there to grab what's gone wrong from the customer, and then the customer, and you're putting the onus on the customer to say, hey, I've got a problem. Customer service, can you fix it? And customer service teams are measured on first response time, and they're measured on customer satisfaction, but they're measured on customer satisfaction for making a customer happy after you.
Oh, it made them unhappy.
Made them unhappy. And so our entire goal and mission is to prevent that issue from happening, that ops issue from happening, so that the customer never has to ask, where is my order? And at the end of the day, that's the best customer service. If the customer never needs to call, never needs to ask, where is my order? It just works.
Tell me, e-com is a relatively small industry here in Australia. Like, there's not a massive amount, because obviously we've got a small population. I'm assuming you're not going to limit yourself to Australia.
Yeah.
But in those brands that you did work in together, obviously there was a number of them. Well, is that a problem in itself, in that the industry here doesn't have as much innovation as it might do in the States or the UK because of the sheer volume of people? So it's just I guess there's less money to play around with. Is that something you've seen?
I'm not 100% sure about that. I mean, if we look at the role that Afterpay played in creating a new category, buy now, pay later, that was really advantageous to e-commerce. You look at Refunded. Refunded is Australian-born instant refunds. It was born out of a pain that founder had around waiting too long to get a refund. So I think there is innovation, because there is a higher penetration of shoppers. Yeah, I think it's $70 billion goes through e-commerce.
Is that right? In Australia alone?
$70 billion a year, of which 15 billion churns to a bad shopping experience. So 15 billion churns. So that means you've had a bad shopping experience, you no longer return to that brand, and you go shop from somewhere else. So I think the innovation is, obviously, yes, the US is much bigger. It's a $1.2 trillion. It's
always bigger.
Not
always better.
Not always, and it is a more complex environment to operate in because it's bigger and it's got far more diversity. Far more spread across the country from a shipping time. Actually, Australia, interesting enough, is the fastest from order to shipment destination in a country in the world.
Is that
Speed
right?
of delivery, yeah.
I did not know that.
2.2 days is the average.
2.2?
2.2 days.
Where the hell am I ordering from? Nothing ever comes in 2.2 days. I mean, online shopping's obviously exploded from COVID, and then habits have developed, and it's remained. And, as much as people still like to hit the shops. In terms of your reason for doing this, you saw it in a number of brands together, and you saw, I guess, the financial cost and did you and the loss of customers and so forth. From my understanding, brands that have moved to yours, and you've already won quite a number of well-known brands, have seen not just an uptick in NPS score or happy customers, but a significant uptick in like profits and actual ordering. Is that right?
Yeah. So I think what our brands have seen is an immediate reduction in where is my order tickets, up to 90%. I mean, that's just a given. Why? Because they spot these issues in real time and they fix them.
Yep.
Manually, up till just recently, we're now rolling out automation, which is the AI workflows that we're rolling out. So they've seen that play out, and what that does is actually has a positive impact immediately on team members. Why? Because they're no longer firefighting. They've got the tools to do their jobs well.
You mean internally?
Internally. So you see employee engagement go up, and you see team members shifting from firefighters to customer concierges, where they're engaging positively with customers on a daily basis. So, drop in WISMO tickets, but you also see a drop in manual repetitive work. So teams are doing less of that, and you see a boost in customer retention. So there's sort of an all-around win. And what we see is it has a 1.5 percentage points impact on the bottom line through retention and less manual work.
So you're just seeing an uplift across everyone's happy. It's not just the customers, right?
Not just the customers.
So tell me, from a tech point of view, you see this problem. Where do you start with that? How do you go, right, what are we going to do? We're going to build a platform. We're going to ultimately automate it using AI. It's going to solve the problems before they occur. How do you start something like that? Tell me where your head went and how. I'm just intrigued to know.
Yeah.
I've interviewed lots and lots of tech founders, right? And no one's ever given me the same answer. And I've asked that question before. So I'm intrigued to hear your answer.
Yeah. So I think that started from PE Nation. When I was closely working with our third co-founder, Tracy. She used to head the customer care department. And she was seeing a lot of customer problems there. And then I joined PE Nation at that time. We said, okay, you're having problems. Customers are not getting the orders on time, or all those kind of issues that customers are having. How we can fix that? The very first platform that we built with Tracy's brainchild is that, can we detect those problems? Solution comes later, but can we detect those problems and put it on a dashboard or something? So that's really where it started out. And that's why the first phase of our product was detection. Is it possible for us to detect the problem before it impacts the customer? And the way we do it is we integrate with all the underlying system behind the e-commerce system. So you see e-commerce system where you place an order, but then it goes through half a dozen different systems, including your ERP, your warehouse management system, your carriers, your return platforms, payment platforms. So detection was the first part. And then we said, okay, now we detected, what do we now? Customer care people or the operations people are going, and after the detection, fixing those issues manually. Can we solve that as well? And that's where the AI agent came in. We said, okay, now let's solve the problem as well.
And so I'm guessing there are obviously a lot of similar problems. How many variations are there that make up 90% of the complaints that you would have seen? Are there 5? Are there 20? Is there 1? You obviously identified that, which would have been quite an interesting experience, I imagine. How many were there in total?
I think there are about 80 different problems that we've seen, and that
I thought you were going to say 8.
Yeah, because they vary from the payment platform to the e-commerce platform.
There's a lot of moving
coming
parts.
down all to the systems. Yeah, but then it also varies from customer to customer as well. Some customers will have a little bit more type of issues, and that's where our platform is really strong, because it's customizable through the configuration. We don't have to build things. We just configure it, turn some buttons on and off, and it customized for particular customers.
And so how does it predict? How does it know that problem is going to go wrong? How does it do that?
Because we track the order journey from once you place the order in the e-commerce, goes down all the systems, and then we integrate with all the systems. And before we know what's happening.
Give me an example. Give me an example of something and how it works.
Yeah. So let's suppose you order something. A lot of the times you'll see that you order something, but the thing is actually not in stock, because your website thinks that you have 5 quantity, but the warehouse actually doesn't have 5 quantity. It has maybe 2. So let's say 5 people order something. By the time it goes to the warehouse, and warehouse thinks, oh, actually, I don't have the things to ship now. That's already too late.
Yep.
Because we've integrated all the systems, we know that at the moment you place an order, in real time, we know actually stock doesn't exist, but you're selling it. So we show that to the customer straight away, to our customer. And then the AI agent kicks in and says, oh, the problem is happening. Now let's resolve the problem. And there are multiple pathways it can solve. One of which is, okay, the customer has already placed an order. Let's reach out to the customer and say, what you order actually we don't have it. Do you want a different color? Do you want,
Yeah. Okay. So that's the technical side. Now, if you're from the business side, the commercial side, you got a lot of players in there, right? You've got, like we just talked about, we've got payment platforms of the variety. You've got the couriers, you've got the warehouses, you've got goodness knows how many different systems. I'm sure that correct me if I'm wrong, it's maybe a little bit easier to build APIs into all those systems than it is to persuade all those systems to let you API into them. How do you go about that at the beginning, saying, we're going to tell you what you're doing wrong before you even know it? I mean, that's probably not how you pitch it, but talk to me about how that process started, because that would have been difficult.
Yeah. I think it was driven by the customers that we acquired. And so we would, I went out there in the beginning with a pitch deck.
So you start with customers before you built it?
That's how we started.
That helped.
And so we're like, okay, we need to get this into customers' hands as quick as possible.
Yep.
We're not going to build the Gaudi Cathedral. We're like ship in increments all the time consistently. And I think that was a really pivotal moment for us, where we said, we're not going to ship a perfect product. We're going to ship an imperfect product and get user feedback as quick as possible. So we were able to acquire 3 customers like off a pitch deck. It's like, hey, we're solving this problem. And the customer's like, oh, that is a big problem.
And your reputations, of course.
And it was one of the customers I had a bit of a connection with, 2 of them not. So it was like a total meeting at an event. It's like, we can fix this for you. And look, we didn't know how to fix it. We kind of did, but like so what tech do you, because we knew we had to stitch all these systems together, all these post-push, and no one's done that. Right?
You knew theoretically, right?
Well, we'd kind of built an MVP beforehand, and we'd seen that MVP play out, so we had an understanding. And then we set about like connecting all these systems together, and they all had different tech stacks. Commonality was Shopify, but different warehousing systems, different payment gateways, different carrier integrations, etc., returns modules. And we started with those 3 customers. They didn't pay us for 120 days, and it was like we just want to ship every week. We want to have a conversation with you. Every week we want to learn. We want to understand how you're using this, what we need to build, and every week we were shipping new features based on the feedback.
Yeah.
And then we got to a point where we're like, okay, we now feel comfortable going out to other customers, ask these customers to give us some money, and then go out and find other customers. And we sort of went down a path of like, I actually signed a couple of customers. We'd come to Tahir, and I'm like, I have signed these customers. He goes, and then we discovered we can't build that integration. And now subsequently we found ways around it because of advancements in AI. We actually are able to get around just APIs through webhooks or FTPs or browser operator, whatever.
Yeah.
And we've got a lot smarter now how we target our customer. I do a lot of ICP work now where I'm clear on what platforms, but still it washes up. Like just the other day, that inbound we got our first inbound from a pharmacy through our website, booked them, did the discovery call. They're on Magento. We haven't built Magento. They're on SAP. We haven't built SAP. Okay, great, Tahir, can you build this? Finish the discovery call. Can you do it? He says, okay, great, I'll do it.
That didn't seem like a resounding yes. That was something like
he's had to think it through because SAP's not an easy conversation. Magento's not an easy conversation.
Magento's a system and a half. I used to recruit a lot of companies to use Magento. It's just
but this is part of our moat that we're building is these integrations.
Yeah.
And I remember when we were a pitch deck and we were going out looking for angel funding, and we spoke to a bunch of real big hitters in e-commerce, like real big hitters, blokes that have sold their businesses for hundreds of millions, and they just looked at us and said, it can't be done.
Oh, that's a good positive attitude.
You cannot solve this problem. It can't be done. Why? Because so many systems, it's spaghetti. Everyone runs their business differently.
Too much complexity.
And too much complexity can't be done. And I'm like, that's not a reason for us not to do this. Like that, even though someone says you can't do it, that's not a reason why we can't do it.
I like that. Now, before we go any further, you said something earlier. I just want to run back to it in case our viewers don't know what it is. You said you started doing ICPs.
Oh, so the profile of customers we target.
Right. So basically just essentially deep discovery.
Deep discovery.
Yep.
So we do. I now do a lot of work around defining who is our target customer, using data off a tool where I understand what is their e-commerce platform, what is their help desk solution, what is their carrier integrations, et cetera, and understand the complexity of what their business is. Do they have multi-fulfillment locations? Do they have marketplace?
Yep.
Are they in multi-geos, et cetera, et cetera?
And do you have a focus where you started? For example, you both came from clothing, obviously. Is that where you started? And I'm assuming this can be applied to pretty much any product ultimately. But did you sort of focus in that space because you understood it better?
No, actually our first three customers, one was actually a nutrition business. The other one was a swimwear business, and the other was an apparel business.
Okay.
So we kind of just branched out to a product that ships online, and essentially any physical product that has to move through a bunch of systems that requires system, human, or process-related functionality is something we can solve for.
Okay.
Anything that someone buys online, and when they click buy, it says you will get this tomorrow because you've paid express and because you ordered before cutoff, or you'll get this in 2 days. So anything that has a customer promise, that's a physical product.
2.2 days average. I now know. Yeah. I'm going to tell everybody that. You said to me just a moment ago that just because someone says it can't be done, that's not a reason not to do it. Now, that's a very specific attitude. A lot of people do not have that attitude. In fact, a lot of people who would go out to a market and do their research and talk to, as you just said, heavy hitters, people who have built businesses, and those people tell them it can't be done. It's very different to your mum or your friend Joe telling you it can't be done. Where do you think that belief came from for you to go, that's not a reason for me to stop? Because it would be a reason for, I would say, 90% of people to stop. So where does that 10% of gumption that you seem to have between the two of you come from?
Yeah, I'd say 99% of people would walk away.
I was trying to be generous because we have a lot of founders in here. We don't have a lot of normal people in here. We have a lot of, but you're right. I think you're probably right.
Yeah, I think my childhood I was a competitive surfer, so I competed professionally as a surfer when I left high school, and that competitive drive around having to win and win hard, like compete hard and win hard.
Very South African.
Yeah, exactly. Like just, and I, when I set up Hurley, the Nike surfwear brand in South Africa, I introduced it, built it with my own working capital. This is second startup. Obviously, that's not startup in the sense of like technology, but like I built a business from nothing and exited to private equity. At that time when I wrote the business plan, everyone, retailers, customers, suppliers, competitors said, you can't do this. You can't beat these brands, Billabong and Quicksilver.
Yeah.
And 3 years later, we're a market leader and we've redefined that category in that space. And so I had that behind me from a sort of burning desire. But at the same time, I understood the customer pain. We all understood the customer pain, and we'd seen the benefit of building an MVP that delivered some great outcomes. And we're like, hey, if we could solve that for one, why can't we solve it for more? And it's just like, maybe it was just a dumb belief. Like honestly,
well, it definitely wasn't, because your living proof it wasn't. But I think you're right. I think if you've got a customer problem and it's not going away, someone's going to solve it. Whether someone says you can or can't, someone is going to solve it, because we don't have the same problems now that we had back in the Stone Age. We've pretty much solved all of them, right? Yeah. So the human race, by its nature, progresses and solves problems. So I think maybe subconsciously it was a brilliant one. Maybe consciously it was a dumb one. I don't know, but it doesn't matter, because you've proven that it's a working model.
Yeah, and we've got 30 very diverse customers right now that we've solved this problem for, right? And I do think maybe a bit of what my mom used to say to me when I was a kid: if you can put a man on the moon, we can fix this problem. Like,
and I've heard that before, and I think it's when you actually think about the gravity of that statement. If we really did put a man on the moon, which is still debatable, but let's say we did, because I think we did. I agree. I mean, look, there are so many unsurmountable problems that get solved every day. I think you've got quite right. Stopping delivery problems in e-commerce should not be an impossible problem.
Yeah.
In terms of your relationships, so how long have you guys been going in this business now?
We've founded it in secret 2 years ago. But we've been active since January last year. Customers on, when I say secret, we're like established the company.
Yeah,
that's probably a better way.
As they call it, stealth start. I hate the term stealth startup.
Yeah, we're building in stealth. So call it 18 months, and we've had paying customers for 12 months.
Okay. And did you bootstrap that? Did you raise money at the beginning? Have you done it? I think you've done a raise recently, haven't you? Did I read that in the document? I think I did.
We put some of our own money in to get the ball rolling.
Yeah.
So I think that was a real critical part. It was like, hey, we're going to put some of our own money in because we wanted to.
Does make it real.
We wanted to demonstrate we've got skin in the game. We're not just throwing away equity or selling equity.
Yeah. I don't think I've ever heard anyone say throwing away equity before, but I like that term. We might have to utilize that in more of our content.
So we're selling equity. And then we raised some angel money. We went through StartMate, the accelerator.
Oh, did you?
Yeah.
We had him on the show not that long ago.
Michael Back.
Yeah, Michael, he's a lovely guy. Out of all the programs, I know them all so well, I do think that's probably one of the ones that I personally think I like the way they run that. They all have their pluses and minuses, but he's a nice guy.
Yeah, and look, we didn't really understand the Australian startup ecosystem, and I think that was a real good call that we were like not a month in out of stealth, and we got in.
Yeah, that's great.
And so we sort of first 3 months, we kind of kickstarted that while we were building the product. We actually didn't have a product. It was just a pitch deck, and it was incredible that they backed us. And then we had a bunch of great angels back us straight out the gate, like Paul Greenberg, the founder of NORA, National Online Retail Association. So we had a bunch of...
that helps.
It certainly
Having
helped.
someone like that have belief in you from a validation point of view for yourself, but also for your customers and also for future funding rounds. I think it's that getting someone like that is massive.
Yeah, and he was pretty pragmatic about it, because he's like, okay, there's a problem. I know that problem exists because I've established e-commerce, and I know it, and I see the people we pay, the customer service people. He goes, okay, well, look, if you can solve it, you can solve it. Like, go for it. And I think that was our sort of first step. We didn't have much we spoke to VCs when we were doing the first round. They wanted to see some traction because they understood the complexity of the problem. They're like, integration's a challenge.
And we're talking Australian VCs here, who they're anti-risk, bizarrely.
Yeah.
They don't like to take risks, even though it's actually in the job description. They don't like to do it too much. They want to see a bit more. I think Australia, you need to have more traction to get their attention than you do in perhaps the US or the UK.
I think it was also a bit of us. Like, of course, it's us. I'm not parking it on them that it was all risk. We were solving a problem that people didn't. They knew it existed, but they didn't know it's a new category in e-commerce. We're creating a new category, and it's like, when the buy now, when Afterpay went around town, it's like, we're providing an alternative to credit cards, and buy now, that doesn't sound like anyone would adopt it. It's a new category, and so we had to prove ourselves out that we can build this category and own this category and get customers to want to actually use our product. And the amazing thing is we're on 26 or 28 brands, and we haven't had one customer churn in the 15 to 18 months that they've been paying us.
It's amazing.
Not one. Every customer's left, and they're all paying us more because we continuously ship better product features weekly.
So do you feel where you are right now is you've proven it, but from a technical point of view, there's a lot more you can do, as well as obviously that will impact businesses. Is that how you feel? Obviously, you're there hanging away, building whatever he's selling without him warning you, and then coming back and saying, "Oh, I just sold this," and you're like, "That's fine." I mean, how much further technology-wise? I mean, it's moving so ridiculously fast now. I mean, I've never seen technology pick up so much pace. It's terrifying in some respects, in a good way.
Yeah.
From your perspective, how do you feel? Because you can almost do a new thing every day.
Yeah, that's right. I mean, that's really an exciting thing for us, for all the tech team, is that every day we do something and next day there is a new thing coming in, and we say, we can improve it a little bit more.
I know. Every
day there's a new model coming. Every day there's a new tool coming that we can play around with. I think it's very exciting because we have a long pipeline that's coming from the sales, coming from the product team, but also internally, technically, the things that we can improve.
Yeah.
And it's I mean, it's having a right balance between what are we going to build that actually the customer want, and what are we going to build that improves the system, improves the overall architecture of the system. Really exciting. I think every day we wake up, there's a new thing, and we say, okay, let's build that. How much improvement it's going to give to the system? So, for example, to give an example, the way we were loading the order onto our platform, it was taking a bit of time. And then there's a new tool out there in the market that we saw that can improve that. And immediately we implemented that in a few days and improves the performance by significantly. Like from 10 minutes of a huge load comes down to a few seconds. That's really exciting thing, because the new things come in, we stay in touch with those new things and implement those too.
So for you, where do you see the business in 12 months from a technology stand? I know that's an almost impossible question, which is why I'm asking it. But I'm just intrigued to say, like, with the way that it's going and the way you're seeing things happen, what do you think is going to be possible in 12 months from your business in terms of the prediction, the speed, obviously the automation that you're bringing in and so forth?
Yeah.
Where do you see that going?
I think it's going in a positive direction. The reason I say is that a lot of things that we don't know at the moment how to solve it, but we know there's a problem that needs to be solved. As we go with time, we're now seeing how to solve it. So to give you an example, when we started off, I know we were doing a whiteboarding session back like 2 years ago. And it was like,
in stealth,
we detect the problem. But how to solve the problem? And then I promised to Jevon, we can do that. But in my mind, I was thinking, wow, how can I do that? Because there's so many.
We'll be able to do it. We're fine.
Yeah. But, we were focused on what the customer needs. And eventually now, like 6 months ago, we saw the AI agentic AI technology.
Yeah.
And now we know how to solve that problem. So I think there are problems that today I don't know how to solve, but I'm pretty sure I will know in next month how to solve as the technology improves.
And look, that's the secret to your success, right? You're focusing on what the customer needs. You're not focusing on what you want to build or what you can build. You're focusing on what the problem is, not anything else.
Yeah.
Is that where you were going?
Yes.
Yeah, well, just to add to those two things, we were actually talking about it yesterday. I remember when we were building in stealth, and Tahir went to Pakistan and he put a team together there to build. And he rang me one day and he just went, I can't do this. I can't.
We all have those days.
And not like, he goes, I don't know how to do this. Like,
right.
It was like, I don't know if we can build this. And I just calmly said to him, Tahir, you've always delivered on time, in full. I call you FedEx for that reason. And you know what?
You call him FedEx.
Yeah. And you know what? You're going to find a way. Like you're just going to find a way. Like I couldn't add any value to it other than just give him the sound motivation. But to come back to the question you're asking, where do you see us in 12 months? Well, I think we set about detecting where is my order ticket, so preventing those reactive tickets.
Mm-hmm.
So there's two types of tickets in customer service. Those that are related to pre and in purchase, and those related to post purchase. And we're solving for the post purchase, which is where is my order, where is my exchange, where is my return, by detecting and then automating, fixing them. That's half of the customer service tickets. The other half are inbound. So our view is that the next phase of what we're going to build is solving all the inbound pre and in purchase.
So do you mean a problem when before they've got to order? So the website's gone down, or I don't know. Is that what you mean?
It's not so much a problem. It's like, hey, what shade of navy is this, or what how black is this T-shirt, or like how do I wear this, or how do I take these supplements, or whatever it is, right?
Yeah.
Like just your sort of like questions.
General
questions. Yeah. It's half the tickets. They're unrelated.
Is that right?
Half the tickets.
So people are putting support tickets in, going, how black is this, or how do I take this supplement? And that's not clear on the website.
Well, whether it's not clear on the website or not, like probably, or like what is your return policy, even though it's on the website or whatever, it's not clear enough. So half the tickets are pre and in purchase, and half the tickets are post. So we're solving for the post purchase today, and then we're going to solve for the pre and in purchase, and then eliminate the need for a help desk. So our vision is that there won't be a need for a help desk ticketing system, because essentially we'll just remove the need for it, because we'll be fixing the issue in real time and answering the question in real time. So why would you need a help desk? And then I think our ultimate goal is to replace the need for all these post-purchase solutions and build an operating system from the moment the order is processed through Shopify till it's delivered and returned. And our view is in 5 years to 10 years, there just needs to be one operating system for post-purchase that handles everything.
You're going to turn it into Windows. Microsoft.
Not sure about Windows. I'd rather be
Microsoft. It was Microsoft, not Windows. You're going to turn it to Microsoft.
Yeah.
Do you reckon you could apply this to recruitment? If you could remove all the stupid questions I get once I've told someone something about a job, or if you could remove all the idiots that come beforehand, that would save me a lot of time. I don't think you could do it for humans.
No.
So where are you now? Like, you are at a pivotal point, would that be right, in terms of you've really proven this product? You've got, what did you say, 26 customers?
Yeah, we got 26 brands on the platform. We just raised 2.3 million. Awesome VCs that backed us.
Congratulations.
Rampasant and Archangel, Empress Capital, StartMate again.
Great. I know Empress. I know Yash.
Yeah.
Yash came on the show. We actually haven't released it yet. I know Yash really well. I know most of the VCs well, but he's a lovely guy.
Yeah, he's a good guy, and he came in right at the end. He was we had reached our target, and he oversubscribed us. So big thanks to him. But we got great VCs behind us. We've been able to put an incredible team together. We moved super fast. We didn't wait like a second. We just got moving when it came to putting a team together. We've hired a really good team of engineers domestically and offshore. Got our first go-to-market person to support me. Those 26 brands have all been founder-led up till now.
Yeah.
And we've now got someone to support me, and we've got someone to support our other co-founder, Tracy, when it comes to product. And we're now starting to feel like we're getting those early signs of product market fit. Just early signs. I don't want to. You never know.
Things change.
Yeah, and I know that we mean something to our customers, because we did some video case studies the other day, and the question one of the questions was, what would you do if you didn't have Keeyu tomorrow?
What did they say?
She said, I just wouldn't come back to work.
Oh gosh.
She's like,
with a sad look on her face.
Just like, no.
I imagine you're solving such a painful problem, right? And you, as any kind of founder, as you know, the most important thing to you is that your customers are happy, right? That really is the number one thing. Out of everything else, if you can do that, even if the rest of it's falling down, if they're happy, that gives you a sense of purpose and wanting to continue on. So yeah, if you've now made customers happy and you left them, it would be like ending a romantic relationship almost. There would be a huge sense of loss, and I can understand that.
Yeah, and the other person said to us, she said in private, like offline on the side, She said, "Yeah, I got someone called me to poach me to go work for another company," and I said, "Oh, do you have Keeyu?" And
That's so good.
and they were like, "No, we don't." She goes, "Well, look, I won't come work for you unless you've got Keeyu." And he goes, "What? How do I spell that?"
That's so good. She's your ultimate workforce. I mean, your ultimate sales force.
Yeah, and so I think that really makes a difference when because Tracy, our subject matter expert, co-founder, she speaks to our customers weekly, and it's just incredible to see the difference we've made to their sort of morale and love for what they're doing. And customer service is a tough game when you're just firefighting all day, right?
Yeah, it's
a tough
exhausting.
game.
It drains you.
It's
a tough game.
And it's tedious as well because there's so many systems involved. So in order to hunt a problem, you have to go through all those systems one by one. And some of the systems are terribly slow. Like one of the ERPs was so slow that you load a screen, it'll take you 2 or 3 minutes, and then you're waiting for the screen to load so you can search the orders. And then to hunt down the problem, you have to go through all those systems. It's boring and it's problematic. What Keeyu does is services that are on the top, makes their life a lot easier.
I mean, gosh, I can't even imagine doing that job, going through all of those systems to try and find a problem. I mean, it's almost like an electrician or a plumber going through a house trying to find a leak or a broken wire. It's just frighteningly painful.
Well, I'll put this to you, right? Like when you've bought something online and it hasn't arrived on time as promised, and you call the brand and you say, "Where is my order?" Customer service have no idea.
No,
like
and
they
you know
actually
what?
don't know.
There's no point in calling them because that takes ages to get through to them anyway.
Yeah, and they've got to go looking for a needle in a haystack, essentially, all these systems looking for where it's gone wrong.
I had this
Tahir
recently.
pointed out there's like 80 reasons people process system, 80 reasons why. And so they've got to go looking through 80 failure points to be able to fix that problem.
Well, I had a loss. This is a great case story for you, and I'll tell you who the brand is. Won't tell you now because it's public, but I'll tell you afterwards. I ordered a number of pairs of clothing, jeans, T-shirts, and so forth. And I'd ordered from them before, no problem.
Mm-hmm.
It had been like 3 weeks, and I was like, that's odd. And I'd forgotten about it because I'd just gotten busy. So again, I think it was an overseas brand. So I just messaged them, and they said, they came back like that. So sorry, we'll look into it for you. You've been a customer for ages. 2.5 weeks it took him to find it. 2.5 weeks. And I don't think it's because she went to lunch and forgot about it. I think it genuinely took them 2.5 weeks to find it. And then it took another 3 weeks to get it to me after that. Wow. And it usually would arrive within 5 days. So that was a shocking experience. Yeah. And it was done through that app as well, that shop app, which isn't very helpful it's quite nice when it does work, but when there's a problem, it's terrible. That was really frustrating because there was one item in that I had bought for an event and it came I missed it. It was, the whole reason for buying that order was that, and I didn't get it. So see, there's a bad experience.
Yeah, and you're the 1 in 4 shoppers in Australia that it happens to every year.
1 in 4.
1 in 4.
Well, look, this video is designed for you to tell your story, but it's also designed to help you as your growth. So there's a couple of questions I want to ask you because this will go out publicly on YouTube and people will find it when they look you up, particularly that company that now needs to know they need to buy you to hire people. I'm going to ask you two questions. So if I am a retailer, what's the main, and I want a short, succinct answer, and I want you both to answer. You can take turns. I don't mind who goes first. In fact, you can go first because I feel you'll go for longer. What's the main reason I would contact you to look at integrating your product into my business?
Well, as we discussed, the number one is you being able to make your customer happy and detecting the problem as early as possible so that it never becomes a problem, never goes to the customer, become a complaint. Secondly, even if you detect the problem, it causes a lot of steps and a lot of complexities to go and solve the problem. So what our platform does is both of the things, if you see, is not only we detect the problem and show them on a dashboard, but then after the detection, what it is going to do to solve that problem. And as I said, systems are very slow. So let's suppose you have to go and refund the customer and cancel the order, refund the customer. You're going to do that on the front, shop front. Then you're going to go down to the ERP, go to the warehouse, make sure that the order hasn't been gone from the warehouse. Because if the order has already gone and you cancel the order, refund the customer, it's not going to help. So then you're going to go through all those systems to solve the problem, and that's where Keeyu can solve as well. I think that's really the reason why the customer will reach out to us to solve this problem.
I have a different question for you. If I'm considering working for you at some point. Why would I come and work for Keeyu?
Because we're redefining customer service forever.
Oh, I like that. That's short and sweet. I like the forever part.
And you're building a product that removes something from online shopping that no one wants, which is complaining.
Pain and complaint.
Yeah, we're taking away something no one wants. We're not asking shoppers. And I think also what we're building, there's obviously a lot of AI out there that's running in a horizontal environment, just generic sort of like, it is hard to deploy a GPD wrapper, but there's generic AI out there. And what we're doing is changing. There is software as a service, as we know today, but we're essentially rolling out service as a software. We're now automating real work and turning and empowering people to do fewer manual repetitive tasks by augmenting them with our solution so that they can focus on positive interactions. And I think it's to build something that's a vertical AI versus just a horizontal generic, where every single day you're solving a really complex problem that hasn't been built. I think that's an inspiring reason to want to work for a company.
I agree. Services software I love that term. And when you think about that and let it sit in your brain, it's a very cool term.
Because we're doing the work.
You are.
So, checking systems, writing emails, updating systems, taking care of that.
There would have been a lot of hard things in building this business. What was the easiest thing? What was both of you, and you can go first this time, Jevon. What was the easiest thing that you thought was going to be much harder and you went, oh my God, we did that pretty easily?
Absolutely nothing.
No one's ever said that to me before. They've always come up with something.
Absolutely
okay,
nothing.
let's hope you had some better times. Was there anything that you found that was easier? Maybe it was working together again. I don't know, but maybe that was easier than you thought. What about yourself?
One thing we always discuss is that I was lucky that I got a really good team.
Well, no such thing as luck.
And the reason that happened is because I looked into my circle, the best people that I've worked with in the last 10 years, and I reached out to them and I said, I'm doing this. Do you want to come and work?
Well, there's absolutely zero luck in that. You're talking to someone who spent his entire life recruiting. That is because of you. There is no luck in that at all. That is a complete testament to you and how you have worked with them over that time. And there's no luck in that.
Yeah, I think that connects back to the question that you asked in terms of why people want to work with us is that once I go and tell them the idea, the things that we're working on, they were like, yes, we're coming. And in a couple of weeks' time, they're with us.
Amazing.
So I think that was good for me, like easy for me so far.
I don't. Yeah, well, it wasn't that easy because you came to me and you were wanting to hire some big hitters. And I'm like, yeah, we just raised a bunch of money, but I don't know how much I want to burn just yet. And he's like, these are big hitters, and I'm like, yeah, they do look like big hitters.
They're cheap though.
And I'm like sitting there going, oh, no, this is a lot of runway that we're going to commit to these people. And then I just looked him in the eyes and I went, look, we won't be alive if we can't build a great product. So, and you've worked with these people, you trust them. You go, because we're on a tight timeline.
Yeah.
Essentially, why? Because we're breaking new ground, and every day we wake up, we say someone else might do this somewhere else in the world. And the faster we build, the quicker we can ship, and the more products, the more our moat grows and the more defensible it comes and the more likely we'll be the default solution in this category. And so I just had to tell you, look, we've got to ship fast. So if you trust these people and if they're going to cost us, they're a big investment, like so be it. But
I think
it was a little hard when he came to me and he had to convince me.
Yeah, I think it goes back to the philosophy that we got to hire people that are smarter than us in an individual domain. If we do that, overall, we'll push the boundary and go higher. But if we are hiring people like before, the way I used to go is, okay, I'm building the whole architecture. I'm doing everything. I'm going to hire people who can understand what I'm building. But then shifting the whole thing into that, okay, now we got to hire people who are smarter than us and can question us when we do something. Hey, there's a better way to do that. Only that's the way that collectively we push the boundary.
Absolutely. Gentlemen, I'm really impressed, not just by the product and what you've done. I mean, that's impressive in itself, but both of your attitudes. in the way that you're growing this business. I am definitely penciling you back in and have you in next year. It's one of the best things about this show. I'm doing it, nearly 4.5 years now, is having people back on and hearing where they've gone. And then hopefully something will have gone easy for you, at least something. But we'll definitely get you back on. I wish you the absolute best of luck. Don't burn all the cash. And I look forward to following the journey.
Thanks so much.
Awesome.
Really appreciate it.
Pleasure.